record. Recording in progress. Okay.
Got it. So, how's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
I'm assuming nobody here is in the hurricane zone.
God.
No.
I have
Different
family
continent.
in the hurricane zone.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, one of my DPLs was supposed to be flying out the day before Helene and going on a cruise and getting back on the 6th. So I saw her on there yesterday, but haven't looked for her today. So hopefully she's not
Ouch.
affected. I'm sorry?
I said, ouch.
Yeah. Well, she was worried that her flight out would be canceled, that the airports would be closed. But she didn't seem worried about getting caught in the middle of it herself. So I'm assuming she's farther out.
So I have one 85-year-old sister-in-law in a nursing, it's like assisted living right there on the coast. I'm living on the first floor, but I hear they're okay.
Okay. Did they get missed or?
I haven't really, she hasn't answered her phone lately.
Right.
And then her daughter, who's pretty much her caregiver, she has a motorhome, and she and her husband and his parents got in the motorhome and drove to Alabama to get out of the way because they were right there, right on the coast. And then my cousin Lois, my only remaining living cousin, who's in her 80s, she's right there, about I don't know, 20 miles inland. So I haven't heard from her either. So it's a little bit tense. She's kind of a little bit low, right to the east of Bradenton, which got pretty hard hit. So we'll find out.
The tornadoes on this one are really scary.
Really.
We lived in Florida for over 20 years, and I have been through 7 hurricanes. It was always the tornadoes actually that worried me more than the hurricanes themselves, except for Ivan. Ivan was rather scary. We were right dead center on that one, and it was scary. And Scott was active duty Air Force for 26 years, so every single one of those hurricanes, he was not with us because he was either on deployment or on long-term TDYs, or if he was in town, he's a doctor, so he always had to work at the evacuation centers and man those. So we were always on our own. Sometimes I stayed, sometimes I took the kids and left.
So everybody, I guess maybe sends them money, but I'll send my money to the Cajun Navy, which is a local outfit out of Louisiana that just gets their boats and their airboats, and they just truck themselves down there. And they pick they pick a small town. Usually they pick a small town, not the big major ones. And they go in and they stage in the water and the food and the clothes. And, they don't get in the way of the big major people, but they do an awful lot of good to like 2 or 3 smaller communities. Yeah. And they represent Louisiana, they are good old Cajun boys. So.
No, but,
everybody has to do their part.
Yeah, I'll have to be leaving. I have to wake up early tomorrow. So sorry. It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, Peter. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Come again.
Sure.
I think there was somebody else.
We have Andrew. I don't know you, Andrew.
That's Light Crystal.
Light Crystal, yes.
Oh, Light Crystal.
You do know him.
Right, that's why
I just didn't know you knew him.
Everybody to put their username, because I know Light Crystal. So listen, y'all, I don't know what y'all have that you want to talk about, but I got something I'd like to share. Something I'm really proud of that I'd like to share.
Well, there's Verla.
You always have something to share, Michelle.
I know. That's the school teacher in me. But, may I share?
Go for it.
Or we can share later.
Do I have to? Oh. Well,
I
one
don't know if
participant
you
can
got
share at a
that.
time. You should be able to.
Okay, so basically, I was hoping Quartertone would show up. Hi, Verla.
Verla?
I was hoping Quartertone would show up because he's kind of a computer guru who he records some stuff, but I think he's BC'd a few of his own solos. I'm not sure. But
Who was
anyway,
it?
his name is Quartertone.
Oh, yeah, right.
Quartertone, and he likes to do science fiction and ghost and horror
Right.
short stories. And he's done a couple of books, but mainly I can't even remember how we met online. But anyway, I found out he was like a computer guru, and I was telling him something I was trying to accomplish, and he was like, "Oh, I can write up a little script for that." And, and I was like, "This is something was taking hours and hours and hours to do," and he wrote up a little script that made it a third of the time. So I kind of wanted to brag on him and demonstrate our little script. Okay. All of y'all know that we have Wikipedia links, right?
Mhm.
You familiar with the
Yeah.
Wikipedia links?
Yes.
Everybody? Yeah, right? So when you BC a project, you sure would like it if your book or your author was linked on Wikipedia because it drives traffic, right? It drives traffic to Librivox. And we can only do it as a public service. It's not about us, it's about helping
Yeah.
the public, right? But it does help the public because if they go to like for example, I'll share my screen. How do I do that? I'm going to share my screen.
Well, presumably if they go to a Wikipedia page for a particular author, they'll find a link to an audio version of the book.
Correct. And that helps us and it helps them. I'm looking for a certain thing.
Mm.
I want to share the sound. I don't have to share the sound. I'm looking for, oh yeah, there you go. There's Firefox. I'm going to share my Firefox. This script, some of these little scripts that these people do, they only work on Firefox, you know. So hopefully am I on Firefox?
Oh.
Yeah, I had this on. There you go. There's Firefox. Now I'm on Firefox, and what I want to do, and Trisha and I have worked this out. We're at the beginning of the month. I go through. Oh, let me see. Let me show y'all this. This is the home page of Librivox, and where it says more audiobooks, like that. It starts with the most current audiobook, and it gives you 25 books. Okay. Then page 2 has 25 books, page 3, page 4, and so forth. And so we decide to take the month of say September, okay, and we decide that we're going to complete all of our Wikipedia links for a month at a time. So that you have to find the last book that was cataloged in September. Golly, I don't know.
Probably the go back to the top. There's is it Standby for Mars? That one I think just went up in the last few days.
I know,
It
but
went
I
up
don't.
last night.
I don't
Last
want
night?
October books. So here's what I do. I go and I take this little snippet that
Welcome, Red Run.
I take this. Why
Oh,
is this
no
in the
mic.
way? I'm being blocked by this sidebar. I got to get rid of that sidebar. Okay, I want to take. Oh gosh, would you? I want to take this little snippet. Can y'all see my page?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you see this little bookmarklet right here? This little lever. Yeah, click on that bookmarklet that Quartertone made for me. And it reads the entire 25 entries on the page. And you'll see that I'm looking for the last one for September. Okay, so it's not going to be on this page, I can tell you.
Oh yeah,
So
you're looking
rather
at October.
I'm in October. I don't want to be in
Yeah.
October, do I? I want to be in September. So I'm going to close this out and I'm going to go to page 2 like this. But I actually, and I got click on my little bookmarklet. You see, I don't want to have to open each and every one of these things to see, to narrow it down, right? So this gives me, oh, you see, there you go,
There we go.
930. So everything below this, I can do this. I can click CVS, which gives me comma separated values on each one.
You just get rid of the top one for it to be
Go to the
accurate.
top one, and I'll copy all of these to the bottom like that. Control C is copy. And then I hated this. I hate to tell you this, but this screen sharing thing at the top, I have to
What do you have to
I-
paste it to?
well, I'm going to show you that too, because people long before I came along came up with these Excel things. Y'all may or may not know about. So I'm opening up the Wikibooks Excel page, okay? And this is every book that we have ever done. Almost 20,000 of them. Oh, but I'm on the wrong page. Okay, so there you go. It's filling in. And what I want to do, I can't have this. Okay, what I have is I have created a working sheet, okay? This is the main sheet, that's the record that we keep. And then I have a working sheet that I made up. Go to my working sheet. And that is this here's for the previous couple months. And I'm going to start a new month here. Watch, I just want you to see how this works. This is, I'm bragging on Quartertone here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to paste that. And that's all those things I just copied.
Mm.
And then I'm going to do my split text into columns. And there, I'm only going
That
to
is
demonstrate this
cool.
one page out of the 113 that we used to have to look up individually
Oh,
and go
nice.
visit each and every page and copy down the link, the author link and the book link. Here, with his little bookmarklet or whatever, I have both the author link and the book link. See, for
Yelled that
all
one.
these. So I do this for all 113 or however many we get. We have, this is the first, I'm just demonstrating the first 25. Okay. So I take those and I copy them. And then I paste them into into a PM. But right now I'll just paste them into here. Paste them in here like that. Voila. And I have all these links. Okay. And I just share these with Trisha, and she goes and she links up all the author links.
Does she
And
have
I
to
go
link
with-
those individually, or is there a way
Oh
to
yes,
drop? No. Okay.
do them individually. But this looks to me like I didn't get everything, huh?
Well, they may not all have had links.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I do. I gather them all up together. I bundle it up. I PM all this list to her. She takes all the author links. I take all the book links, and we make our links. Okay, and that's just narrows all this down to much simpler. So what I can do is I can take let's see, the shooting party. Oh, that's for this month. We haven't done these yet. But let's just say there is Charles Nicholas Nickleby, like that right there. I'm just gonna take that there and I'm gonna copy that. And this is the next thing we do. Once we get all this stuff listed out, you copy. I'm gonna do a book link, and I'm gonna go up here to a new tab here, and I'm gonna paste that in. and I'll enter, and I get to Wikipedia, and I'll get to the Nicholas Nickleby page, which I knew there's already going to be a link on here.
It's in German. Oh yeah, that was a German version, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. Well, this is the thing about it. We can't do foreign language things. I didn't do it right. I have to pick a different one. Let me try another one here. How about the shooting party? Because I did the cover.
That should be English.
That should be English. I just did the cover for that one. Haha. So we go to Wikipedia and paste that. And what I want to do with Trisha eventually is I want to get a couple of other people trained up on how we do this, so that if something happens to her or something happens to me, that all this isn't lost. She and I are going to get together early part of next month, and we're going to do a Zoom session, and we're going to record how to do this process. Okay. So there's the shooting party. So first thing you do is you check, does it have an external link? No, it does not. You have all of our links are under external links. Okay. So if it doesn't have an external link, I have a little thing how to teach you how to add an external links category. And then I edit the source. And then I add, and I know how to, it's a little complicated. I know how to go over to I'm back on the Excel spreadsheet. I go to my notes, which I have there, and it teaches you how to make a link. See? Fill in the code below with the correct title and author, and the title is The Shooting Party. And the author is, I don't remember who it is. Do you guys remember? It's okay.
No.
I can look it up. It's okay. I can look it up. Let's see.
It's all about the movie.
Come on. It's okay. I'll go back over here to my thing.
Edmond Hamilton.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. No, that's what I just know.
That's the author.
That's the real author.
That's what the Wikipedia's got.
Right, but that's because I'm changing the data in this form. Edmund Hamilton, that's not him. Okay, just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Let's look him up. The Shooting Party.
Isabel Colgate.
By Anton Chekhov, of course.
But this is the page about the novel, though, not the.
I'm doing.
Oh yeah, you're on the movie.
Of the movie.
Page.
That's okay. The novel is by Anton Chekhov. I'm going to copy that because I do not like to type. I like to copy and paste. So now we go back over to here to our links, and where it says Edmund Hamilton, I'm going to paste in the real author. Okay. Now there's my Wikipedia link right there. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back over to the Wikipedia links. Go down to external links, edit my source, and I'm going to add it right under here.
But
Now
isn't this the film?
Yeah,
Rather
this
than the
page,
book?
this is going on the film page. So we should also put it on the novel page.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Nobody provided us with the book page. The links that I'm using are the ones that
the BC provided.
Yeah, when you open up the catalog, and on the left-hand side down at the bottom, it has those little links. Those are the little links that go to this particular page. Now, if you'll notice here on the right-hand side, it's just added The Shooting Party public domain audiobook at Librivox. Right? You see that?
That's good. Yeah.
Yes. So now I have to tell the police over at Wikipedia that what I've just done, and I said added a Librivox.
It's a reminder of how important it is for the novel, yeah, for people to get the right address. So, because there is a Wikipedia
can
page
just-
for the novel.
Yeah, just
Okay,
click
well-
on the link. If you go back to the page that this is editing,
Okay, I'm gonna do that, but first I'm gonna put it here too.
publish.
I'm publishing the changes, and then
Yay.
that's not the end of this story because I need to double check and make sure that it's correct, because a lot of times these things. See, there you go.
There you go.
Cool.
I did it.
I just
Yeah,
put the novel address into the chat.
That's okay. I'll get it. I'll find it in just a second. Let me go back to where I was here. So we know that that's correct. Okay. So I can accept that. Now what I'm going to do back up here is let's go search Wikipedia.
No,
Well,
it's
right
already
there.
in this page.
It's right there. Just click on it.
Look in the first
Michelle, it's
paragraph.
right there. See the shooting party Chekhov
Chekhov
novel.
novel.
Yeah.
Oh, click on
That's
that.
how I found it.
Well, The Simpsons does not seem to be it. Just a
Oh.
minute.
Well, I just pasted the link that actually is the right link into the chat.
Okay, just a minute. Because if this is incorrect, you see, if we really want to do our homework well,
Oh, okay. Click the first one, not the second one.
we'll click the first one. Then what the thing to do is to make a notation, which I'll show you.
But this is a different book. This is not the one by Chekhov.
You're right. You see how complicated this gets?
Mhm.
Accurate information is hard to get accurate. Now
Red
this
Run says
should
the
be the shooting.
Librivox. Okay, Red Run's just
Now there you go.
posted the
There's
right
the
one.
novel. Somehow or another, I just did that. So I'm going to go back down to the bottom. You know, I still have in my adaptations, references. This doesn't have an external links. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
So I'm going to edit the source. I can do that because I'm signed in. You have to be signed in. So now I can add this because I still have that on my clipboard. And over here on the right, it's going to show me what I've added in.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm going to have to do my little thing here again. Tell the Wikipedia police why I'm doing this. This is not a minor edit, I've been told. It is a major edit, so we have to watch the page. I'm going to publish the changes. And what Wikipedia is going to do is it's going to remember who made this edit. Okay. It is a possibility that I can go and check the edit page and see who made these edits. Okay. So there we have an external link. Okay. And that's how it's done.
Mm.
It's a little bit on the tedious side, but now that it is done, I'm going to go over to my working sheet and I am going to, since I'm only doing the books, okay, I'm only doing the books. Trisha is doing the author and she is doing that on a different spreadsheet. So I'm going to see Quartertone's snippet produces both. It produces everything that's on our catalog page. I now remove the other one. And then over here in the comments section, I'm going
I've just looked on my iPad and I see the new link there.
There you go. I'm going to say linked by Ms. Fry. And I don't do that to brag. I do that so if there's a problem with it, somebody knows who to contact, right?
Yeah.
Contact me. And then I'm going to also say linked by Ms. Fry. And then I'm going to say contact msfry book link. Okay.
Right.
And then I'm not going to do that today while I have y'all, but that's something I would do that homework. And I would go back to the project, contact the MC and ask her if she would substitute the correct book link.
The book
Okay.
for the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, for the book instead of the movie. All right. So that's basically what I've got to share with you. This this Wikipedia, this spreadsheet, it doesn't have a save function. You put it in there and it's in there. And so I'm always trepidatious when I close it out, but it does keep everything. Now, once I've done all 100 and however many there are for the month, you see, then I take all of this and I transfer it to the audiobooks page, which
Now
is a running.
The spreadsheet is a Google Sheets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't create it.
Yeah.
I'm just fumble through it and try not to do much to change it.
Okay, we're getting our 10-minute warning.
Okay. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with y'all because I'm really proud of this. And I think it's a great service to us. And I would like very much to have other people know how to do it. So that's what I said. We're gonna create a link. Gonna create a video and we're gonna post it so y'all can we don't really want a lot of competition, but we want different people to be able to know how to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank y'all so much for letting me share that.
Thank
I
you.
did some back in the day.
Bye, Mary.
Hi,
Well,
Mary.
there are BCs that actually do their own and MCs that'll go do one. Okay, because they know how to do it, and so they'll do one. But it's
Yeah.
inconsistent. This way you get them all. And I don't mind if people do one. That's great. And that's the way it used to be. It's like 1 in 10 would get done. But we have gone back to the beginning and we've gotten them all done.
That's great.
So that's good. Big deal.
Thank you.
All right. What am I doing? I'm going to quit sharing my screen. I don't know how to do that. Y'all just cut me off. Oh, let me go back. Y'all just quit looking.
Can I
I don't know how to do it.
unshare you? Let me just see if I can.
Unshare screen.
Advance.
Well, I can shut that down. I can shut that down.
Yeah, but it's the share. No, it's in Zoom. You got to look for your share button.
Well, the thing is I've hidden my controls.
Yeah, if you minimize your screen,
Minimizing the screen.
you should be able to see it now. No, I meant minimize your screen in Zoom.
Oh, minimize my Zoom screen.
Oh, there you go.
There I am. Screen sharing is stopped because I shut that sucker down.
So if anyone wants to carry on, we've got another 7 minutes, but what we can do is when it gets cut off is simply sign back into the same address.
Yeah, I understand.
And that will allow us to carry on.
Well, we're coming up to it, and there's a few minutes.
Well,
I
just
just
click-
wanted to.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, I don't know if anyone noticed or if anyone really cares, but I'm trying to start the podcast up, the community podcast up again. I've got one kind of starting right now that I've dubbed the group hug as kind of a celebratory. We're coming up to 20,000. We've hit 19 years. That's all. Kind of have a party, kind of a podcast. So if anyone wants to submit something to that, I'd love it. I'm hoping we will see what my time allows to maybe try and get this going monthly, but we will see what happens with that.
So what are you thinking? Just somebody talking about what they do, or what they think of Librivox?
Well, so for right now, it's kind of like what I've got going for suggestions is like if you want to say thank you to somebody, or you have really good memory, like a really funny story or a good story of something that you did, or celebrate somebody finishing a really difficult book that they've been working a lot of years on, or something like that.
Where does this get posted as to how to get to it?
It's on the other it's in under other Librivox projects. And there's there's the Librivox podcast planning. It's the second pin post, and the link to my post is in there. And it's just
have you put it in your signature? Maybe you
yes, I have. It says please submit to the podcast. So it's just, I think it would be fun to get it going again. I remember I used to love listening to everybody talking about it, and I figured I've got a little bit of time. Let's see what I can do.
That sounds great. I love it. anything we can do to build community, since we all spend
Mhm.
so much of our time here, it's
Mhm.
almost ridiculous to not even know each other, it's kind of weird.
Well, you do if you go look at the, you're addicted to Librivox when those threads. Oh, we have somebody new joining. Swan. Nope.
Maybe not.
Oh, no, yeah, he's just moved to another row. She. Welcome.
See,
So I'll share
you could have it to where we were in a no big picture. Everybody's picture was equally the same
That's
size.
what I've got.
And actually, you're the big one, and everybody else is wee little.
Well, that's the speaker
They're all
view.
the same on me.
You have
Everybody's just the
I have
same
a
on
choice
mine.
of speaker, gallery, multi-speaker, and immersive. I don't know
Gallery.
what
That's what's going
immersive
on.
I
is.
believe gallery is what you might want to choose.
Verla's back.
I'm on gallery.
Oh, maybe we'd want to pick something else. Because all I can see
Well-
right now is Lynette.
Really?
Well, you've
I'll
got
dance for
that's
you.
what you selected.
I love your
probably selected
pantry.
speaker view.
I like your pantry background there.
Oh,
Oh, my background. I should have put a false
That's
background on for
okay.
you guys.
No, it's pretty
I
good
have my
wallpaper.
door off so I can refinish it, and so you get to see the pantry.
Just for I think one person just joined us. We're gonna get cut off in 4 minutes. And if we can extend it by simply logging into the same link again. I will still be here.
Super. Okay.
And
So
the link
Verla,
is
I listened to
posted
both
on
of your
the,
chapters.
Oh, no,
But our
this-
internet was out, so I just have to record that. I listened to them still.
Okay, another horrible story.
It was bad.
I'm doing a true crime murder book, and Lynette is my PO.
Yep. I have a very vivid imagination too, so I was just like, ooh.
I
You
think
guys
they're
will
all
have to
going to be
listen
like
to her
that.
book when she's finished.
yeah, definitely a dark side.
Well,
I had a situation like that listening to what was it? It's the James Cook book, and it talked about human sacrifice in quite a bit of detail.
Oh,
And it was oogie.
this wasn't that bad.
yeah, I was.
And
Yeah,
I'd
I
be-
was the
Oh.
DPL for one of the earlier books that he did, that he narrated, but yeah, about James Cook.
Hey,
I-
Light Crystal, did you record one of the characters that was in the Handsome Cab Murder?
Handsome Cab Murder. That doesn't
No.
remind me of any. I mean, the last collab that I did was a different sort of detective book, but I don't think it was that one.
Yeah, that one was like, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago was when people were recording it.
Was that was a dramatic reading or a group?
It's the
Dramatic.
dramatic reading.
No,
It was somebody in Australia started it and then she disappeared. So I adopted it about, I don't know, 6 or 7 months after she disappeared. I adopted it and got it finished up, and
Yeah, I'm doing
I
that
know
now
your
with
voice from somewhere though, so
I've never done a dramatic reading. That's one thing I haven't
Okay.
done. So that means it couldn't have been me doing it. 'Cause-
I've just started doing dramatic readings and I'm getting quite into it. I'm doing a rescue myself right now.
yeah. Yeah, it was really nice of you to pick that up.
It just seems
I,
such a shame.
Yeah, because so many people put work in on them. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when a person who started it just disappears without saying anything, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
it,
that's a killer.
I understand if life changes
Yeah.
and LibriVox is no longer your thing, or you absolutely
Yeah.
cannot spend the time in LibriVox anymore. That's no problem
Yeah.
at all. But
Yeah.
just
Let us
pop in and
know.
drop a note
Yeah.
and say, I'm so sorry, I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
Someone want to take it over.
Yeah.
But some of the MCs, well, a couple of the MCs pick them up if people drop them, but the others just put them in the
abandoned.
the dead folder somewhere until you find it.
Well, I had participated in this particular one, so, I had it on my bookmarks, and I kept going back and looking, and
Yeah.
June, July, August, September slipped away. It was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's
So,
kind of satisfying though to foster it for someone.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
really is. You feel like a foster
Then,
parent
We have
for
less
sure,
than a
because
minute, so get ready to rejoin. But yeah,
Oh.
there's a satisfaction in doing a rescue and getting it caught up, although it's a bit intense for a few days. Then we'll have to try and paste. Yeah, we'll have to paste 2 different recordings together for this, or just post them both, I guess.
Post them both, part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
I've
Do
never
you have
recorded a
something that you
meeting
want to
before,
talk
so
about?
I'll have to figure out where it goes after. Or where
It'll
it
tell
is.
you, at the end of the meeting that it's converting the file. And then within Zoom, you'll see a link to your recordings.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's what I just noticed. So I have a vague idea. I think
That's way
haven't
more than
saved
I
it to
know.
my-
So
I haven't saved it to my hard drive yet, but it's fairly pretty, self-explanatory. Well, it's pretty obvious, shall I say, or at least it seemed that way when I looked at it just now. But yes, they've definitely changed Zoom so that you can't just roll over into a new meeting. You have to wait 7 minutes before you can start a new meeting. You can't use the same link.
Well,
So
that was
they've
perfect
Kinda
for a
weird.
restroom break for me, so you did us all a favor.
I didn't get one because I was busy trying to reset up.
Let me get in the car. So I was sitting there waiting to go. I'm like, I can't start driving till the meeting starts.
So I'm excited about that. The Wikipedia links that they're putting in, that's really kind of cool, especially since I have 2 or 3 brand new projects that got wrapped up recently. So it's nice to know that they'll be in their list of work.
So, well, Michelle had talked to me about it before, but this is a more detailed view than I've ever seen before. It's it's a lot of fairly tedious work, but I can see the value.
I'm just hoping, well, I'm just glad that with archive being down, the in progress stuff is on a different server, so we can keep working even if we can't upload the completed stuff.
Oh, is archive down today?
Oh, it's been
Yes.
down all day. It's been down up and down for the last 3 days. They apparently got hacked back in September.
Oh,
There's been a whole issue with it. Completed works haven't really been going up much because we can't access the servers.
It was up and down yesterday, and in fact, I must confess that I got halfway through chapter 1 of The House of Pooh Corner, and it went down, and I ended up going and looking at the Project Gutenberg version to do the rest.
oh,
But they're
that's where
they're
that's where the
identical.
scripts came from. The scripts were literally copy pasted off of that. So you're fine.
Okay, because the link in the project is Internet Archive.
That would be because we launched the project before Project Gutenberg finished their conversion of it,
Okay.
but it's the same sourcing. So
Okay.
I accidentally lied when I said it was copy pasted because all my other ones are. But when Scott and I put that one together, we did have to copy paste it from the archive source
Yay.
and then split it out from there. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but 2 babies from the same thing. So,
Yeah. Well, and if
Oh,
there'd been any anomalies, I probably would have gone back eventually to the Internet Archive one to double check that. But I'm surprised actually that I've come across a few projects recently where there are reasonably significant errors on the project, on the PG version. And when I go back to the Internet Archive and see the scan, I can mostly you can see how it happens. There's an I instead of an exclamation point or a space between letters. But
I used to help them out over there But
Me
then,
too.
so yeah, so you know too exactly where that can come from.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But I'm just surprised that some of the errors that I've seen lately survive 3 rounds of proofing and formatting. It's like, really? Because I got a little bored with it because there's so little to find.
Yeah, I just, it was right about when I started doing dramatic readings 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, when I started running them and editing
Uh-oh.
them instead of just participating in them as a reader. It takes a lot of time. So it was okay, that or Project Gutenberg, and it was very easy for me to just say, okay, just
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Bye.
doing the so I don't only do dramatic readings within Librivox, but they are the bulk of what I do because they are so very time consuming.
But they're fun.
They are fun, and it always amazes me how well they come together. You've got this completely disparate group of readers with every single reader has a different recording setup, a different reading style, a different sound, and there are occasionally voices that you really cannot get them all to. You can tell listening in the finished product that, okay, this person does not have a good setup.
Yeah.
But there's no way I'm going to say you can't participate. I mean, clearly
No.
LibriVox isn't going to say that anyway,
Mm.
but uh, you still can get them to mesh together with a little massaging in the editing process. And it just sounds so cool to listen to a finished dramatic reading.
Yeah.
And the clicker is your friend.
I have a question for you. What's your view of precasting DRs or plays?
Oh,
Wait,
Because there was somebody was trying to put together one, and one of the MCs came in and said, "You can't precast." It's done all the time.
I will say, I will never, ever post a dramatic, because I focus on dramatic novels, right? And I will never post one without having a narrator bare
oh
minimum
yeah. But you
rearranged
have to have a narrator and an editor.
because that's just like insane. And since I do the editing on mine and I do the editing on Scott's, we don't have to find an editor, but I would definitely find an editor as well before starting one because it just drives me insane for the dramatic projects that I have contributed to that they don't have an editor arranged yet. And then that project just sits and languishes, and maybe the MC picks up editing on it or not. But to me, it's highly irresponsible to
But I
post
believe,
a novel without having a narrator and editor already
and I believe those
recast.
are requirements for a dramatic reading.
Yes.
But Larry's talking about having half the characters precasted before the project even begins, so that it starts up and everybody goes, "Oh, look," and they get there and find that all the best characters are already gone because there's been a discussion going on in some other thread, right?
Now, well, and here's something I will say. For example, the Lord Peter Wimsey series that I run. There was a group of people that we worked together frequently on LibriVox and came together doing the first one. And the principal reader, actors, character people wish to continue doing their characters as those are coming public domain faster than we can produce them as a dramatic reading. So the second the next one finishes, we just start the next one up. And where I come from as a BC and as a part of this group of working friends that have said we want to do these books is the main characters are already there. We are doing this, we're running these books, and we just love everybody to join in on all the other characters. And those books have a lot of characters, so there's a lot of room for people to jump in. But yeah, Lord Peter and Parker and Bunter. For the most part, those are the ones that are the core group of recorders, and the narrator are the core group on those that return every time because of that. But also, there are a lot of dramatic reading people. It's fun to record for dramatic readings because you get to voice act. That is fun. And it is so fun to do your part and only your part, and boom, you're finished. Somebody else is reading all the rest. Somebody else is reading the narration, unless you're doing that. Somebody else is editing it. It's fabulous to participate as a recorder. And I have noticed every single time the second I put something up in the launch pad, I know I could come back 1 hour later and there's already going to be multiple people saying, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And the MW
Well-
isn't even up yet for you to see what the characters are. So I know people are going through and looking at things, or they're already familiar with it. And so they want to do that.
I think it's kind of a toss-up between, I mean, I can understand having the same characters voiced by the same people in subsequent books. But if it's the first time a book is appearing and the characters have all been claimed before the book even appears in the new project launchpad, I don't know. That's a tricky question.
It is tricky, especially when people are talking about it in, like, Ivanhoe. Somebody asked for, I believe Nora Nelson might have been the one who wanted it, asked for it to start with. And I knew Scott would be gung-ho about that. And then it ended up being on my BC list somehow. So I'm running that one, and there were probably 5 to 8 people that had seen it go up in what is it, suggestion board, where people can go and request things. And there were a lot of people that just ahead of time said, oh yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. And I would never want to be a BC or an MC myself, because I think they're tied to, here is the letter of the law, period. And where I come from, having seen all of that discussion going on, why can't people pre-plan in a place where it's not, I mean, like we have our upcoming DR novels thing, and it's specifically, I made sure it says on that thing, there is no role asking for this, because these are things that are, it might be 2 years before some of these on this list come up.
Yeah, but the case in question, the roles are being claimed over there.
They can't. Somebody tried, and Trisha and Anne and I have squelched it. You can't. Not
Well,
on
but there was something that hit the new project launchpad.
that would be a different board then, not the upcoming dramatic novels.
It
I
was.
think what happened is she
Maybe on a
started it in yours.
suggested.
I think she started it in yours, and then she took all the people who were saying we'll claim, and just launched a new project. It's in the on hold now because there's been some debate about the fact that she's starting it with only like 5 roles open.
And there's no narrator yet.
Okay, so I haven't seen what you guys are referring to.
It's
It's
the dramatic reading of
interesting.
Anne of Green Gables. It's the dramatic reading of Anne of Green Gables in on hold.
Oh. Anne of Green Gables is on hold. Okay. I think we're talking about 2 different places. There's the one board that is simply informational. It lists, these are the dramatic novels that the BCs
In preparation.
PRs,
Yeah.
Right.
not in preparation, but these are on each one of us. These are the ones that we might be prepping the scripts in the background, but there's 0 actual project preparation happening yet. And then there's the suggested, and
Well, and I think
that's where
that
I've
one
seen people
started. I
do a
think that one
lot.
started on in preparation and got shifted to the suggestion board.
She probably did. She probably started. She's young. She hasn't done it a whole lot yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who her editor is. But I understand both sides. See, I understand how as a reader it would be like, it would feel like, well, this isn't fair. These are already pre-arranged.
yeah.
A
And we've
flip
got a
side
couple
to
of,
that
we've got a
coin
couple of young
is
readers
though,
that really want Anne.
yeah, a flip side of that coin is that anybody who wants to can start that book. And if I really seriously want to read the narration or the lead role for X book, and somebody started a project over there and they've pre-cast all this stuff, the fact of the matter is, I can always start my own DR rendition of
Dueling
it as
DRs.
well. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a good idea. And probably the MCs would be like, oh my gosh, what are you saying? Because then you've got two novels, the same title, running in DR land. I can see there's,
They probably would object.
but I mean, you could, because Librivox will take more than one voice for a book as far as recordings go. I mean, how many Winnie the Poohs are there already on the solo readers? Probably
Winnie the Pooh was the
6.
reason I joined, and then I never got to do it.
Didn't we have two
Oh,
versions?
well,
of
okay.
Kids to do it?
Now, Winnie the Pooh DR. Now, that's a different one. In
No,
terms
no,
of
I meant
recasting, that was
originally.
our extended family said, we're going to do this for the grandchild. And our extended
Oh,
family
yeah, no, I'm not.
had
I'm not.
already, and there
I'm
was
not
only like,
talking about
did
that.
somebody
I'm
do
just.
Piglet for us?
I
But
wanted
yeah.
to. I wanted to do the book, 2 years ago.
Oh,
And by
gotcha.
the time I had actually joined and got my setup in place, there were already 2 versions. So people had been waiting for that for a while.
I know
Now,
I saw solos pop up on that in literally just like one day.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Red Run has
Yeah.
just it's put in the chat. That's what the DR Scene and Story Collection is for, if folks can be satisfied with the chapters too. And I've done a chapter or two.
Oh, there you go. That's
you
an
know.
excellent idea.
Oh, and he's also said, I can't weigh in on the other case just now as much as I might like to. I'll just say all those points are under consideration, what we just discussed about the new
Yes.
project.
And Red Run does MCMPL
Yeah.
DRs that I'm working on. So I'm sitting here talking, knowing, I'm saying things that aren't necessarily proper, but I also feel like there are different angles to things, and it's not necessarily inappropriate for there to be different angles, but and I do, I do this, Winifred and Larry. I do invite people, which is probably also not technically the Librivox way, but I do a ton of proof listening. And I'll admit to when I am doing scripts or proofreading Scott's scripts, my brain just hears people reading characters. And particularly if a project goes up and there's a special consideration or parts are sitting open that as an editor, I'm like, gosh, I hope somebody would come and read this part so I can do these chapters here. I just need that part. Or somebody gives up a part that they had previously claimed, or they disappeared after they claimed it. Then that's what happened recently over in Unnatural Death. And somebody dropped, I'm sorry, my lupus is going right now. So getting some brain fog going here. But I was just like, she would be great to do this character. So I might send a direct message and just say, hey, if this might be up your alley, your cup of tea, do you think you might want to do this character? And I hope I word it in a way that it's absolutely clear that I am not pressuring in any kind of way. I'm just simply saying, I think you would be great for this. Here's where you can look at it and see if you would like to take the character on.
I did that. I did that in the Five Little Peppers. They were looking for a Dickie, and Shrimpfish came on and said, you know, I'd like to take a part. Which one would you suggest? And I responded, and I'm not the BC, but I responded saying, I think you'd make a great Dickie.
Yeah. And that's actually how I found the dramatic reading corner in the first place. Is somebody had sent me a note and said, hey, you know, somebody that was PLing something that I was reading was just like, hey, do you think you'd like to try this? We need somebody to fill this last character on this project. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it, and fell in love with dramatic readings after that. And I've been there ever since.
And
But
I mean, I got an invite to do the narrator on the Five Little Peppers, and I agreed to it. But that's kosher because you need a narrator before you start. Red Run has just
yeah, and the
weighed
only
in
way to
again
do
in the
that is
chat.
to ask somebody. It's like, would you happen to feel like doing this?
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah,
So
well, I agree with Red Run. Invites are good. Now, I've done several poetry anthologies where they have long poems that really have parts in them. And I set them up as little mini VCs. I really liked the way they turned out. But I did nearly all of those by invitation.
okay.
Because I wanted certain voices and people I knew would do that poem justice. And they turned out so well. Nobody objected. One of them was Trish was
Yeah.
my MC and she thought it was fine. So
You know,
anyway,
from time to time, I'll have somebody say, "Oh, that intimidates me. That's not my cup of tea," as you say, you know, and that's absolutely fine. But by far and large, the vast majority of people are always just like, "Oh, that sounds fun. Thanks for thinking of me." So
yeah.
I've continued to do it, and I don't mean to do it as an exclusionary thing in any case at all. It's just, like I said, I heard a voice and it's like, gosh, they'd be perfect. Or
Yeah.
I'm editing a project and I really love this chapter right here has missed only one person forever. It's like, can I find someone that might want to do this character?
And I think
Yeah,
it's
my most
probably best to do it openly in the thread. I think it's I think the main objection
Well, the
really is
person
to having
wouldn't.
it happen out, you know, off screen, so that nobody knows where it came from.
Um, that for what I'm talking about, that wouldn't work because if I just posted in the project, the
well,
person
as
I'm
long as
talking
the
to wouldn't see it unless they're already part of the project. So like if
as
I'm
long
looking
as
for
the,
somebody to fill in, if somebody would just come and do Oswald, nobody's
Yeah.
going to see it if I post in the project, except for everybody who's already done it. And I, you know, that project is marked no duplicate roles. So anybody in the project that's already contributed isn't actually eligible to do that. So the only way to find somebody is just to send out some notes. And sometimes I send them to several people at once and just like, do any of you feel like picking up this bit part? You know? So Larry,
yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
Yeah, so you know, those
as long
folks
as they
then
check
follow
in
up
and
if they
make
want
a thing
to
on
by
the thread.
posting. Sorry.
Yeah,
No claims take place via PM alone.
right.
Oh, true, exactly. Right. Yeah. So like when I send the invitations out, I always link the project and tell them
Yeah.
exactly where in the MW to find what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
they can go to the project, look at the character, look at the script, and then post in the project. Yeah, I want to do such and such.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
you mean. Yeah, okay, that's what you mean.
Well, that's above board. Sorry, Larry, I keep interrupting you.
My most recent dramatic role I had to audition for, but
Wait,
it was
Oh,
in
but
real
it
life
wasn't
or
a
in
company project.
Librivox?
that's in real
No,
life.
it's a live stage.
How did that go, Larry? Did you get the part?
I got a part as part
Oh,
of the ensemble, but it's to get my foot
that's
in the door. And
cool.
is this guy going to work for us? And I'm going to go,
That's
yeah, do I
cool.
really want to do this? So yeah,
Right.
a lot of work. Oh my goodness. 15 performances.
Yeah,
And I
that's
have to
really
sing
cool.
in
Librivox is
parts, and
easier.
I don't do either. So,
Congratulations.
yeah, it's going to be so good to be back on stage. There's nothing like it.
I'm happy for
I mean,
you.
doing plays at DRs is almost as good, but
It's a totally different aim. I'm sure the energy is completely different for one
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're live together while you're doing it, even for rehearsals.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't have the suavity or the skill to do it live. I need the magic of editing. It's
Oh, I
like,
hear that.
okay, there's times I'll say a phrase or a sentence 5 times over, different inflections, or I just
Oh,
can't get
yeah.
my mouth wrapped around the consonants in that particular sentence for some reason. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Portugal and
Hi, so was
volunteer.
Oh,
I'm always appalled when I stumble over the intro,
So as Vaughn says he's heading off for a late dinner. Ooh, 11:30. Bye.
Yeah. So, Winifred, you are always welcome in any of my DR, as are you, Verla. In fact, I have a project where people are not actually contributing and they're just about, I'm super, super lenient with extensions and stuff, but there comes a point where it's like, okay, this is a little ridiculous. You haven't turned anything in since February and it's October. So you guys are in my
Which one?
pool of voices.
Which one?
Ivanhoe.
Never done a DR.
Oh, I've already got one in there.
No, you haven't, Verla. And I got a note back. I only release roles and find a new reader after I have talked with the person in private direct messages. Unless they simply have disappeared from Librivox, have not been seen for 8 months, then I'm just like, okay, unfortunately, you're gone. But I thought I was going to have to replace Rebecca, and I'm not uncertain that I'm not going to have to replace Rebecca at some point. But yeah, I was literally 5 minutes before I was going to send you a message, Verla, and beg you, do you think you might want to try Rebecca? Which is actually a main role. So it was a big ask.
We've got 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I got a note back. I got a response back after 3 weeks of no response from the person saying, I really want to finish this up. So I was like, well, you just slid in there, kiddo. So we're going to give her some more time.
Right.
I
What's the
theoretically know
longest
how
Yeah.
running DR?
What was
I
that?
theoretically know how DRs work, but I don't really get it.
I think you would be good in it, Verla,
You-
because your reading is very expressive. So I think you could slide right into voice acting, recording, and the fun of it is you go off of scripts. The plays, I really don't like reading plays as much, but I do read for people in their plays because they're not pulled. It's just harder to read those old plays. Sometimes the novel
Yes, for us
scripting is
it's-
pulled out, it's divided up, so you just do your find whoever you're doing. I told
Yeah, you search
Clara,
for the name.
find Clara. So I just go down and they've queued all my little Clara things to read for them. And you literally only read Clara. So like on your very first one, you say Clara, read by Lynette Calkins. And then I leave some silence. I read my first line, leave some silence, read my second line. And I actually just read along as I go. And there might be half a second, there might be a minute and a half in between as I'm reading the chapter while I'm recording. Then I go through and edit it and boom, 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 boom. They're evenly spaced out, 4 silent seconds in between, and pick which line I want to keep and dump the ones I don't like. And in terms of my
There-
reading
there-
them, not
there
in
is-
terms of which lines I want to
There is
provide.
a function that allows you to standardize the spaces between lines.
I don't use that. I don't like it.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
don't
a
use it either. I
personal
go through and do it manually.
It's a personal
Um,
thing. As a dramatic reading editor, I despise that because it becomes so mechanical and everything is exactly the same, whether you're dividing phrases or sentences or paragraphs or two different people speaking. And
Okay,
it
this,
sounds like a robot to me when it's finished. So
there's several chat messages. Red Run says always feels bad to remove somebody from a project. And like Crystal says, if anyone is running truculentus, I'm sorry I had to pull out, but I was so busy with other things. And
Oh,
Jesse
no.
says, I have finished my drive home. Have a good rest of the meeting. Bye, Jesse.
Nobody minds. I shouldn't say nobody. I never, ever, 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 ever mind anybody pulling out because
No, of course
I
not.
get it. I completely get it. So
Better
even
they
if you
do that
divided
than
half
stick
of a
around.
character and you don't want to finish,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. No problem.
yeah,
The worst
No
thing
problem.
is somebody who holds on to it and just doesn't show up.
yeah.
As long as
Uh-huh.
there's communication,
Yeah.
as long as there's communication, I really don't mind. And as long as the only time I will start to pressure people is not really the word I want to use. Prod them, poke the bear a little bit. Hey, can you give me chapter 18 now, please? Is when the project is almost finished and you're the last person we're waiting for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and Ivanhoe's been running for a year now, just about. Give it a month, it'll be a year. So it was good time for me to go through and look and see, okay, these people haven't contributed. This person's completely disappeared.
Hmm.
This person hasn't contributed for 10 months. And just,
Well, in every
send out the
project,
notes to poke people along and say, look, do you still want to do this? I'm happy to put an extension down. Or has life intervened and would you like us to find someone to read the character? And it's about half and half on people who say, I'm sorry, I thought I wanted to do it and I just can't record anymore right now and I don't want to anymore, or that's great. No problem whatsoever.
well,
Release the role.
and every project has that note about 2 months being the time limit. So, in theory, the BC is entitled to turf anyone who doesn't produce in 2 months.
Yeah,
But for dramatic
but
reading, once they
having
produce.
that there, you have to use your discretion. If you're
Yeah.
talking about a bit part, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're talking about somebody reading the narration or the main role or a very dense character, they need more than 2 months.
Yeah.
Some don't.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, Kai McLeese, he'll spit the narration of Ivanhoe out in 2 weeks flat. And as a
Who?
PL, I'm going, oh, give me a break.
Who did you
Keep up with
mention?
you.
Who?
But
Hi,
the best-
McLeese.
Kai McLeese.
Oh,
Thomas Copeland.
okay.
He yeah, he
I'm
read the
PLing a book for him
narration
right
of
now.
Ivanhoe for us. So yeah, that was intense peeling.
So
Trying to
is
keep up
the
with him.
narrator reads everything but the dialogue?
Except the
or
dialogue.
of a
Exactly. Except the dialogue. So you can imagine not every book lends itself to be a dramatic reading in our style anyway, because you need to have the different character voicing going on. But it's interesting.
I'm scripting the would-be goods now, and it's going to take me a while. I've done 3 chapters, and
It does
it's
take a long
time-consuming
time.
because you have to read through. You're reading through it several times, really, because it's very easy to miss a little speech or a word in the middle of a paragraph. So you really have to go over it and over it, especially if you're color coding, you have to copy the color coding, and it takes a while.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
does.
fun, and you really get to know the book.
You do. By the time I finish editing, wrapping up a dramatic reading project, I don't listen to it for probably at least a year, 2 years before
Yeah.
I'm ready to say, okay, let me come through and now I want to listen to this as an audiobook just for enjoyment, you know? And because until I've had a good year, 2 years to get away from all of that, particularly because I edit them myself, my projects I edit. And so, and I prefer to proof listen the part files as they come in, because a lot of times there's things that if somebody else who's not editing PLs them, that you have to be so particular, everything needs to be in place, because sometimes these readers disappear and sometimes it's not going to be edited for a year after that part comes in. But as an editor, I know that, okay, there are certain things I can deal with very easily during editing, and I don't need that person to have to spend the time to address that and resubmit it, particularly if they're a brand new reader and you just want to be very encouraging. Also, as you were talking about with the reading, just like preparing the scripts, my brain, my mind, I'm a quilter, and these are oral quilts for me. And I get to know the materials as they're coming in, and my brain is already realizing, okay. And I can't really explain it. It's just very subtle things, but it's very helpful to me in my process to do the proof listening since I'm going to edit it.
Good
Well,
point, though.
But,
Like,
and I know
I-
dramatic reading BCs, we all have different things that are the way we like to run them. So like on my projects, for example, I greatly prefer people to not do a lot of processing on their files.
Mm.
And by the way, we've got 1:20.
Okay. And my reasoning on that is largely because those who are experienced, about 75% of people who are experienced recorders, you guys do amazing. Like Larry, your files are great when you send them in. Your processing is no problem. So I never say anything when people send them processed. I never, but new people and the last 25% of the people who are experienced recorders just over process way too much, and it makes it sound wrong putting together.
Do we want to continue? Because I can restart.
I'm okay if we sign off.
Yeah, okay.
We've been here a while.
Red
We
Run
got things to
says,
do.
similar to oral quilting, I wind up re-recording at least half my narration based on how the characters sound. I can get that.
That's me.
I recorded for the longest running DR, I think. Count of Monte Cristo. It's been going 9.5 years.
No.
9.5 years.
Yep, it's gonna hit that 10-year mark. I'm like convinced at this point she's gonna get that 10-year mark.
I can't imagine that.
Ivanhoe might come close to